Alright guys, I'm back. It's been a while, hasn't it? So, where have I been? Well, long story short, after I put out that funeral video, I went on a cruise for 11 days down to the Caribbean. So, I've been out for a while. And then, unfortunately, a little bit prior to that, I had to leave the bikes at my buddy's house because they're going to repave the street and everything. So, just making my life easier. But now the paving's done, my bikes are back, the cruise is over, and we're back to business as usual. We're just making the most cutting edge content for all you guys. Which this probably won't be, but I think today would just be doing more of a birthday. But before we start that, you know, how about a like, subscribe, notifications, yada yada yada. Thank you very much, and we'll just cue the intro and we'll get back to it. Glad you enjoyed the intro. Stuck around. So what's new? Well, here's the funny thing. Like I said, I was on a cruise. Excuse me. And I get a phone call from BRP. As you know from a few videos back, there was a problem with the fuel pump and yada yada yada. So, long story short, had a good discussion with the fine French Canadian over at BRP. Let's just say that the situation has been resolved to everyone's satisfaction, and we'll just leave it at that. Okay. Yeah, so the funny thing is, while I had the guy on the phone, I'm also asking about, as you know, I have the Spyder RT. Not RT, the T, whatever. You know, so it's basically, it doesn't have the top case, among a few other things. So I keep seeing it advertised on the Can-Am website or the catalog, etc., etc. It's like, hey, get the top case, you know. Excuse me. And it's never available for purchase. So while I got the guy on the line, I'm like, listen, bro, I just can you help me? Since I got you work there at the factory or whatever. Can you get this case? I need it. I want it. The unfortunate thing is this. He's basically like, no, you cannot get the F3's top case anymore. They're not making it, they're not selling it, whatever. You just can't get it. And it's, you know, obviously since they sell it to the dealers and all that, they know where they all are. And they're like, nope, nobody's got them. You're shit out of luck. But what he did do was he spoke to, I guess, a product specialist who says that there might be, you know, I like in fact, there's like, no one's done it, but you might be able to do it. You might be able to put the RT case on the F3. And, you know, as soon as I got that, of course, it's also $1,000 more. But then I looked, and it's just like, if you look at the RT case, some of the part numbers, especially for like the tub portion, the bottom portion, are the same as the F3's. And not for nothing, guys, in case you didn't realize that the RT and the F3 have the same frame, the same engine, they're the same trike, with more plastic and more money. And that's all well and good. But you know, the guts of it is pretty much the same. They just a couple of parts here and there are like rearranged, but the frame is, and the engine and stuff is basically the same. So the case is probably also the same. Now, if you're throwing down $3 grand, I want to make sure it fits. So what I might have to do is take the F3 over to the dealer that I get it repaired, and, like, you know, persuade him, if they have them in stock, to take the case off of an RT and see if I could stick it onto my F3. Sorry, getting traffic. I'm getting bamboozled. And then if it fits, then I could order the case and yada yada yada. You know. It looks to me like there's only like a little bracket under that cover back there that that separates the two. And the bracket, I think the bracket was like $77. So not gonna break the bank, you know. So maybe we'll go that route. But like I said, they were very helpful. I have to look into it more before, because I'm definitely not going to spend $3,000 without testing it, and you know. And if you look, the BRP is like basically, excuse me, what basically looks to me is that on the F3 the antenna is the top case on the F3. The antenna is on the case, where on the RT the antenna is on top of the saddlebag. Whoop-de shit, I don't use the radio, so I could care less. Of course, I am sunburned from coming back from the Caribbean. You know, no matter how many times the summer rolls around or the hot weather, I do not learn my lesson that I am a hairless mole and I need sunscreen and hats. And I failed to do that like the first day and got burnt like a lobster. Oh, yeah, let's update some other things since we're at it. Since the last video I told you about the fuel pump and all that shit, I also told you about that noise. Yeah, go back and watch the video. But I had the 12,000 mile maintenance done, which was fixing the, replacing the belt. And when I got it back, whenever you would take off from a stop, like this, it would make a noise coming from like either the engine or the CVT. That sounded a lot like an electric motor. You know, that it's, you'll know what I'm talking about. That electric pull noise of a motor. And then it would go away. So I posted that video, got some responses. It's the CVT, it's the belt, it's this, it's that. And it's like, okay. You know, the problem is they did like 10 different things with that service, so it most definitely could have been, but it could be other things, you know. Who knows? Maybe they didn't put any, maybe they drained the oil out of the transmission case, you know, the forward and reverse transmission, not the CVT, and never refilled it. That's a possibility. But, you know, the internet was right, and it was the CVT. So I get there, and they were more than helpful. And they rectified the situation while I was waiting. So, you know, I pulled up there. I'm like, dude, what's this? I showed him the video, and then we pulled the bike into the backyard, and he was moving it up and back and shit. I was like, yeah, that's not supposed to be there. That's wrong. This is like the, I guess you call him the manager. You know, the guy that answers the phone and bosses everybody around. So he grabbed the mechanic that worked on it the first time, and then disappeared into the back for a few hours, and next thing I know, he's got my thing clamshelled again. Everything is apart, and he's actually on the phone with BRP. So he's like, and I spoke to the guy too, and he's like, very nice people to deal with over the phone. So you know, once he got it apart, he's like, he basically described to me this: the original belt has worn an area of the sheaves, which is the pulleys, in case you're wondering, they're called the sheaves, and the belt is not riding in them properly. Like the other one was form-fitting to the sheaves because they wore it at the same time, because it's the original belt. So basically what happened was my mechanic readjusted the belt a little bit, just played with it, buttoned it back up, got it back, no problem, no more noise. Because the funny thing is, I didn't notice this because when I had left the shop the first time, I had my tunes playing, you know. So I got gas, I go to turn on the heated grips, and they didn't work because apparently when they clamshell it, the wire pulled out of the accessory thing under here. So I just brought it back for that, like 2 seconds. The guy popped it off, put it back in, then berated himself for not checking it. Not that you would, it's like, you know, but whatever. So yeah, they fixed that. Now granted, it was like 8 hours or 6 hours. It was like 6 hours of sitting there at the dealer or a mechanic shop while he's clamshelling this thing on the phone with BRP and then readjusting it. That was a long ass day. I didn't feel like making arrangements to get driven home just to come right back the next day. So I figured, screw it, I got nothing better to do. And that's that. So now it's back. It seems to be working. You know, fuel pump's working. CVT's not making noise. Okay, I mean, what? You know, it's not new. Let's not lie about things. It's still a 2021. It's wearing. I am so tempted to get the F3 Limited. I think it is the next one up with the case, the 2024 in black. Whoo! With the CarPlay. And the funny thing about the CarPlay is, I'll be honest with you guys, I was really impressed with it when I first saw it. And here's the thing. It's not a deal breaker for me anymore. I was like thinking about it, and the guy I watched, Ryker channel, he's pretty cool. I'll put a link in there. He had bought this, oh man, what can you say? It's almost like a bolt-on thing that goes on your handlebars that lets you have the CarPlay and all the gizmos in a self-contained unit. Now, here's the thing. If you have, and it's universal, it's not just for Can-Ams or stuff, it's for universal. Let's say that your bike has analog gauges and that's it. It's an analog bike. So there's no Bluetooth, there's no this, there's no that. You could get this little box, which is only, I think it's only a little bit bigger than a like a 13 or 14 Pro Max cell phone. And it just goes on the handlebars with its little bracket, and you can Bluetooth connect everything to it, and you have CarPlay. That's it. And it does this, it does that. I don't think it has any functionality built into it per se. So it's not like a GPS. It basically mirrors your phone. Now here's my problem with that setup. These little units that they're selling only mirror your phone. Just mount your phone. Ah, look who we have. Yeah, so it just basically mimics your phone, and at that point, mount your phone, and you got to run power to this unit. And obviously, the big problem with these using your phone like this is power. You're gonna drain your battery. You got to run power to your phone. You got to run power to this unit. What the fuck's the difference? You know, so just run it and just use your phone. I mean, maybe you can get away with the touch screen is better. I don't know, but to me, it's just, I like the idea of it. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't solve a problem because you can do it the other way. So what are we doing here? Now, as you saw, I have a Garmin XT Zumo, and I think they've upgraded that model since I bought it, but no big deal. Now, that Garmin solves a bigger problem, which is the GPS without the cell phone connectivity. And yes, I know you can download the maps and all this other junk. But the thing is this, if you get caught without the maps downloaded and you lose it, you're kind of screwed. You know. So that's why I got the Zumo, because if I'm riding by myself up in the middle of the sticks, or even if I go on my own little adventures into the middle of nowhere, you know, on the F3 with that Zumo right there in the center of my dashboard, or my handlebars, sorry, it's always working. Don't have to worry. You know, the maps are already downloaded. It works, and it works pretty good with the fingers. You don't need the special little gloves here with the little connectivity touch thing and all that shit. And the glare was pretty good. And if you wanted some sort of media thing with it, it will connect to your phone. You will be able to control your media through it into your headset. So it's not CarPlay. Like, if it had CarPlay, it would be absolutely perfect. You know, if it could do everything. 'Cause like I said, those other units, they're just mirroring your phone. Where this thing is a standalone, I don't have a phone, GPS. So, if this unit had GPS, the Garmin had GPS. If the Garmin had CarPlay, which I don't know why they don't do it, because I think that would be a game changer. Why would you buy these other units which just mirror your phone when you could actually have a standalone GPS with the CarPlay? And it's just software. So what's the big deal? That's what I would do if I was Garmin. I would get another model, give it another $200 just for that CarPlay shit, and I'd be killing two birds at one stone. Because I think most people, if you offer them, it's like, do you want the CarPlay, or do you want a built-in GPS that doesn't need your phone and CarPlay? I think people would pick the GPS for a little extra money, just for a little, I guess, peace of mind. And you know, here's the other thing. Like, I have my wife and I do have CarPlay in our vehicles, and I'm just like this. What do we use it for? Nothing. Now, she likes the Pandora and all that crap, whatever, or XM. Yeah, she likes XM. I usually listen to whatever I have on my phone. Once you load the app up and it's running, the only thing you really need is the forward and the track forward, track back, and volume. That's it. And then of course, you see all these people who have purchased this CarPlay, and half the time it doesn't work. You know, or it does work, but the problem is they, you know, especially Harley people, they like the little half helmets, so they like to do everything through their dashboard, you know, with the speakers and everything. And quite frankly, Apple, and this is not the manufacturers, this is Apple themselves. You need a headset to use CarPlay. You know, and I think that was one of the main reasons why Can-Am did not install it earlier. So you definitely need to, because they don't want you fucking with the panel when you're riding. They want you to talk things like next track, previous track, volume up, volume down, open maps, close maps, open podcast, whatever you want to do. Hey Siri, yada yada yada. That's what they want you to do. They don't want you going like this with your fingers and taking your hands off the bars, because then it's like, well, you know, I wanted to change the track, but that's why, you know, I killed 6 people, because I had to touch the, I had to take my hands off and touch the control panel. Because you know how people are. So that's that. And you know that's true. You know, so they want you to use their Siri or whatever the hell Android is, Cortana, I don't fucking know. Like me, when I switch tracks on this, the Ryker, I got to reach up here and tap my helmet and hold the button down to go to the next track. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the best. Whereas if I'm on the Spyder, I could just use the big wheel of joy, you know, and just click up and click down. Like I said, with the 2024s, I don't think the big selling point is actually the CarPlay so much as it's the giant display. And I mean, the best thing about the CarPlay on the 2024 models is you can pick what map you want to use and have it displayed. Because for some reason, the maps that come with BRP Go suck. They suck. And you wouldn't use them otherwise, so why would you use them on your bike? That's the problem. Alright, we're coming up on my final destination here. Gonna spend some time at the mall, you know, but I have said my piece, my friends. I have said my piece. So once again, if you made it this far, please give a like, subscribe, notifications, yada yada yada. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.